Mindmine Summit, organized by Hero Enterprise, has hosted influencers from across the fora of government, business, academia and society who have debated and analyzed India's diversity of economic and social advantage. A panel discussion themed Technology, is it bridging or widening the gap between traditional and modern India? Deliberated on nuances of technology in the New Age India.
I think it's bridging, and you can see the data. It may not be 100%, but it's in the way. 560 million internet users, 450 million smartphone users, 1.2 billion connections, 900 unique phone numbers, and then you got unlimited data at 100 rupees a month, then 11 GB of data consumed in this country, 67 minutes of video, and America is just 2.85 GB per user per month. It's very backward. Now, are rural people using it? Yes. Is increasing? Are 100% using it? No. But it is increasing. So when it increases, it is bridging the gap.
We should not look at this divide in a negative way. The nature of the beast is that there will always be a gap in adoption between rural and urban, developed and non-developed. That's the nature of the beast. But what you've got to be mindful of is that the reference points change massively. Go back 10 years, what was broadband connectivity? 256 kilobits per second was defined as the textbook definition of broadband connectivity. It no longer is. The benchmarks have changed. So while the divide exists and you and I have access to 4G and soon 5G, or we have fiber coming to our homes very, very soon, but so is the benchmarks change for the rural environment as well. So that's one. It's very important to understand that context. But the divide shall always remain. It's about how we keep upping the game in that sense. To your point on innovation by tech companies, let me first start by saying that from a business standpoint, most technology companies, from an India standpoint, service what I call as the New York in India. Most of them get their business from the New York in India, which is the top 500,000 customers, like Mr. Manjal sitting here. That's where we get our money from. But do not forget the point that India is still largely small and mid-market country with 49 plus or close to 50 million MSMEs. Unless those people embrace technology, this thing will not change. So the work that we all are doing, all technology companies are doing, is make technology the democratizer, if you will. How do you make technology consumption easy, frictionless, and not have a complicated way of using technology? What was the traditional way of buying technology? You had to buy hardware, then you had to buy software, then you had to go look for someone who would put this all together for you, and then you had to maintain it over the years. Like literally 4 people hand-holding you over the years. Now, with things like, and I don't want to get into technology, but with things like cloud computing, you are able to literally consume this from the tap. You do not have to worry about what's the hardware, what's the software upgrade, what's the security algorithm, who's going to maintain it, who's going to upgrade it. So I think it's becoming frictionless. The work that all of us are doing is, how do you allow technology adoption at the bottom of the pyramid? And that tells me the divide is getting bridged.
The next panel discussion themed Social Media Impact. Does this galloping horse need stronger reins? Brainstormed on the need of regulating the content on social media platforms by governments.
Does social media need to be regulated? What is the role of all the stakeholders, the user, the platform? Where can the government step in? And how do we tackle the menace of social media? Mr. Tharoor, do you think social media needs to be regulated?
Yes and no. I mean, I think everything in life needs a certain amount of regulation and moderation, but I have a profound mistrust of governments, even my own. And I think one of the great strengths of social media has been that it's an unregulated space. The first big challenge in any case in regulating is a social media a publisher or a postman? Because if you're a publisher, then you are responsible for what you publish and you can be sued and the law becomes your regulator. If you're a postman, the post office cannot be sued for carrying an offensive letter from you to him or vice versa, right? Therefore, they have been so far trying to shelter under the argument that all they're doing is being a postman. I don't want governments to do it, but I do want Twitter and Facebook and so on to see what they're doing in terms of
self-regulation.
Yeah. Mind you, so far what exists is very ineffective. I've given up complaining to Twitter about the literally 200 to 300 terms of abuse I get every day on social media, because they barely, half the time they don't take any action, and the other half they take it so low, so late, and it's so ineffective that it makes no difference. I've stopped complaining. I've learned to ignore it. Don't let the trolls ruin your life. And of course, we've heard, I think Anurag Kashyap has just cancelled his Twitter account because of the amount of abuse he's had to take. At one point, Shah Rukh Khan went off Twitter for a few months because of that and finally came back. Why do people come back? Because obviously it's an extraordinary broadcast medium, and unlike other one-way broadcast mediums like being on Doordarshan, on television or whatever, you have an interactivity that makes it more immediate, that makes it more interesting. But the fact is that social media, and particularly Twitter more than Facebook, because anonymity is more difficult on Facebook. Twitter has absolute anonymity. You can create fake names, fake pictures, fake handles, whatever you like, and just unleash absolutely vile abuse at people.
I would like to react to the regulation part of the discussion, because almost all my films have faced regulations and regulatory bodies. The society is intelligent enough, is wise enough, does have the capacity to regulate itself, to filter all the good and the bad. And we do not need any kind of censorship or regulation or control on anything that is being created in terms of content. The fact that there is less kind of accommodation or acceptance or tolerance in the society. I mean, it's not only on the media, but even in our own society. The kind of education that we have been propagating for the last 2 decades, we have stopped reading, we have stopped questioning, we have stopped analyzing, we have stopped researching. We don't see the shades of grey, we only see black and white. We are more of a reactive society. Our whole process of communication has changed. Our narratives have changed. So this society will communicate differently. The content on our social media will be reflective of the society we are living in. And that's what probably is happening.
The next session deliberated on the challenges and solutions in urban planning of Indian cities. The session was themed Remaking Our Cities. Are existing master plans good enough?
What do master plans do, Anshuman? Basically, they zone land. It's land usage. This can be used for housing, this can be used for commercial, this can be used for as public spaces. Do you believe that it leads to more control rather than development in the right way?
But the fact is, there is an accountable person in every city who has that planning, who's accountable. Till the time we don't get accountability in cities here, it won't work. Second, very quickly, is that there has to be a neighborhood development plan, then a city plan, then a state plan. You have to go bottom up, not top down.
All right.
Right?
That's a very interesting thing, you have to go bottom up. I mean, local areas have to be developed, and then they have to dovetail into a larger city plan and then a state plan.
To do that, you have to involve the people. You have to create awareness. So if you're doing, a lot of times the people don't get involved. And so if you're saying we're going to get a metro from here, or we are going to build a flyover, or put a cycling path, you have to tell the citizens what is the benefit, involve them, and really get the people living in that area involved in the whole plan, create awareness, then implement it, And I think that does not happen.
All right. Murli, what would you agree with and disagree with? The fact that, A, we need master plans is a question of implementation, and multiplicity of agencies, which is the reason why we are failing our cities to meet the basic requirements of its people? Or do you believe that master plans themselves should be done away with, and let's have a complete fresh rethink, start at the bottom and ask, what do the people want?
We do away with the current process of master plan. We need to have one single master plan for the next 30 years or 40 years.
For the entire country?
For the entire country, keeping in mind housing should be in excessive supply. That's very, very critical. The second one, what Anshuman said, bottom-up process to control. That's very important. See, sitting in North Block, somebody cannot control the entire country. It will be difficult. So we the people should take the responsibility of ensuring that the master plan is properly implemented.
Unmarried to work is Generation Z redefining the Indian workspace was the theme of the next panel discussion.
Varun, as a managing director of Zodius Capital, you have a lot of portfolio companies and many of them are startups. In fact, you said 85% of the employees amongst all the companies that you manage would be the millennials, and now soon Gen Z would be getting added on. Your observations, so what are the changes you need to bring to the workplace to accommodate them?
I think some of the things that we've seen over our journey of association with these companies is the following, right? One, there is a very high degree of aspiration. I think, and the aspiration does not extend only to professional objectives, it also extends towards personal objectives. I think the lines between what is your professional life and what is your personal life is starting to blur a lot. So there is aspiration, there is this whole aspect of I need to do many different things in a particular work day. There is also the aspect of saying, look, I need to be continuously challenged. And when we kind of look back and see what does it mean for the organization, for any young company or any large company, I think there are 2 or 3 things that come out. One, the fact that you cannot think of yourself as a traditional organization. A traditional organization design doesn't work. You have to literally think of yourself as a collection of entrepreneurs or a constellation of entrepreneurs which are kind of revolving around a central core. How do you continuously challenge them? How do you fulfill their objectives? The second thing I think which is becoming very important is they need to see recognition and reward very, very quickly. And I think that is what drives them more than anything else. And recognition or reward is not just driven by financial parameters, right? A certain pay or a certain this thing. I think there is this whole, we need to be part of the cause or we need to be committed to a cause. What that has done is that, it's actually thrown out all these theories of organization design out of the window. It means that every organization has to be built and crafted in a bespoke manner, and every organization needs to design itself according to the people it has.
The session themed Future of Transport, will the coming decade be a game changer? Deliberated on the challenges, solutions and evolving dynamics of the auto sector.
गडकरी जी, आपको कहते हैं हाईवे मैन ऑफ इंडिया, बाय द वे. Now with your experience, 5 साल पिछली सरकार में, now you still believe that's possible for us to build all of our infrastructure at a cost lower and more efficiently than we have been doing?
The problem is not of resources. Problem is not of technology. Problem is of appropriate vision. And I am confident that it is possible. We are developing the infrastructure of international standards, and we are developing waterways, roadways. We are now developing 22 green highways. We have already started highway from Mumbai to Delhi of 1 lakh crore. 60% of work is already awarded. Even only in Delhi, we are working on the project cost more than 50,000 crore. And already Delhi pollution is reduced by 30%. And I am not a politician. Anyone you can challenge me. Even I am talking to media. Whatever I talk, 100% I am very much sure about it. That is on the ground. I don't want to give any false promise.
I can actually confirm that.
So everything is possible with the social cooperation, public-private investment, and we can make it. And now the technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, science, technology, research, skill, is the knowledge and conversion of knowledge into wealth and conversion of wealth into wealth is my very, very favorite subject.
Now there is this big public debate going on India's drive for change in the automotive drivetrain from internal combustion engine to a cleaner fuel. The question is the method of transition, the timing of transition, and what do you transition to? What is your view on this?
As a transport minister, many times I clear it. But you know the role of media. Some of the people, I don't know why they are again and again repeating the things. There is some proposal already in Niti Aayog. But I am the minister. The Niti Aayog is the authority. I am always telling that we are not going to ban. There is no time limit. We are not against petrol and diesel automobile industry. So first of all, don't bother about that. But at the same time, we are encouraging electric buses. Now public transport is our priority. And public transport on electricity is our highest priority. Now the problem is that we are encouraging alternative fuel and electric vehicles. We are giving them special incentives. The GST on electric car is 12%. So naturally, petrol and diesel car is 48%. So we are now exempted electric car, taxi, electric bus, and even electric bike and biofuel bike, biofuel taxi and biofuel bus free from permit charge. We are giving special priority for all these things. But we are not have any mind, anything that ban on petrol diesel vehicles.
Day 2 of the summit culminated with the valedictory session by Anurag Thakur, MOS Finance and Corporate Affairs.
India of the pre-2014 years was bogged down by massive corruption, systematic inertia, policy paralysis, and fundamentally suffered from a leadership vacuum that struggled to meet the aspirations of a billion-strong nation. Destinies were written off much before they could find their feet. Today, citizens, businesses are writing their own destiny, and government reforms have given them wings to fly. India's economic indicators are robust and healthy. The fiscal deficit is pegged at 3.3%. Inflation is under control, less than 3.5%. During the last 5 years, the FDI inflows into India was $286 billion. India's recent economic expansion has brought a record number of people out of poverty. A growing aspirational middle class has fueled impressive consumer growth and demand in recent years. Moving on, not only is India one of the largest economies, it is one of the youngest. On the education front, Sunil ji, you have done a fantastic job on the education front. The government has done as well. A slew of measures have been taken, expanding the existing IITs and IIMs network, providing scholarships at the school and the college level, improving the level of primary education, creating tinkering labs under the Atal Innovation Mission, setting up skill training centers in various parts of the country. Further, on the health front, the next frontier in the healthcare will be when biology meets artificial intelligence. We have taken some initiatives as far as the Ayushman Bharat is concerned, reaching out to 50 crore Indians, providing 5 lakh rupees of healthcare free of cost every year. 35 lakh people have already taken the advantage of this. 3.5 crore children have been vaccinated under the mission Indradhanush. Accidental and life insurance has been provided. If I have to give you some figures like in the last 5 years what we have achieved, which could not be achieved in the first 65 years since independence. 36 करोड़ लोगों के लिए बैंक खाते, 1 लाख करोड़ रुपया उसमें जमा करवाया गया, 22 करोड़ लोगों के लिए एक्सीडेंटल और लाइफ इंश्योरेंस उपलब्ध करवाई गई, गरीब परिवारों के लिए 7 करोड़ एलपीजी के सिलेंडर्स देना और 1.67 करोड़ लोग उनके लिए अटल पेंशन योजना में पेंशन की सुविधा भी करवाना। आयुष्मान भारत में 55 करोड़ लोगों को 5 लाख की जैसे मैंने इलाज की बात कही, ये एक अलग अनुभव है, केवल 5 वर्षों में हुआ। मैं इतना ही कहकर अपनी बात को समाप्त करूंगा। एक देश, एक लक्ष्य, एक विस्तार, 1.25 अरब आंखों के सपने करने हैं साकार। अब यही कहूंगा, अब धरती नहीं चांद की बात होगी। 370 के बाद एनआरसी पर भी बात होगी। ये नया इंडिया है मेरे मित्रों, यहां अब कश्मीर नहीं पीओके पर भी बात होगी। तो आपने समय दिया, आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Over the last decade or so, this ThinkFest has clearly become the go-to event for thought-provoking and relevant discussions on pertinent issues, in the process gaining immense credibility and traction as an independent forum for dialogue and debate.